Well, hello, everybody. Good to see you again. Long time no see. Of course, as you know, I'm Trucker Todd. Been off a little bit, working my tail off, trying to adapt, and we're going to talk about that in a minute about finding balance in the current environment. Let me get the ticker up here. And before we get started, there's a couple of things that I want to make you aware of. I'm going to need your help with in this show. The first thing is you might have saw. This week I did a couple of unboxings. One of them was for the Optimum Gateway 6. I hope that's coming through. Maybe not. Let me turn off the virtual deal so y'all can see this for a second. Got to get out of the living room. All right, so there it is. There's the Optimum Gateway 6 box. I'll be doing a review on it later this week, telling you what I think about Optimum's internet, and I've had to deal with their customer service. I'll talk about the installation process and how that worked out. Also, you may can see it in my ears. I'm wearing an open ear headset. It's got a new AI technology. The company sent me this headset, and I'm currently reviewing it. I'm wearing it in this video, not to tell you about it yet, but just to kind of get your opinion on how it sounds. So during the course of this video, here's that headset, what it looks like. It's the EXA S30. And when I did the unboxing video, I mispronounced it. I called it KSA. It is EXA. I did get some clarification on that. And so we're going to talk about it in the coming days, but it's pretty cool. I'll tell you this about it so far. It comes with a really good protective case to protect it while you're, if you're in the truck and you throw it around or whatever. Or I can see a lot of applications this would be good for. But there's also some things I don't like about it as well. I will tell you one more cool thing about it. The little docking station that charges it, it's really nice. We're going to talk about it in the coming days. Now, some of you are going to cheat and go watch other YouTubers. And I can't stop you from doing that, but I will tell you this. EXA sent a bunch of these headsets out to different YouTubers, and some of the reviews may be influenced by that. Now, they did send me this one, and they are paying me, but as you guys know about me, I'm always going to tell you the truth. And as I said, there's some things I really, really like about it, and some things that I really, really don't. And we will discuss those things in the upcoming videos. So make sure you're subscribed so that you receive a notification when those videos come out. It's free to do. Just click that subscribe button, click that bell, and then select all so that you receive notifications for all the videos. All right, before we go any further, we need to give a shout out to the Gorilla Gang. It's a small elite group now of 16 people. But we still appreciate them nonetheless. Starting off with the original channel member, Ramon. Then we have Robbie Ross, Corey Oatley, Midlife Trucker, Smaller Hauler, Oaser DM, Armando Perez, KC, Adam Murley, Mud Trucking, Trucking with the Fly Rabbit, H-Man, Racing Ray, Lance Calhoun, P.U. Patel, and Skyhook Trucker. Now, several of you have made me aware that you're not getting notifications for the live streams. Some of you are getting notifications for the recorded videos. I'm not sure what's going on there. I would just say if you know somebody that watches this and they aren't in the chat, you might send them a text and tell them, hey, I'm on, or something like that. I didn't get a chance to do it before the show. I was editing some videos and in a phone call, and so that's what I've been doing. I'll get to your comments in just a few seconds. got a few things that we need to go over that people have been asking me about. And I like to address these things at the start of the show. So, several of you have asked about my health. Matter of fact, a former neighbor asked my wife yesterday, "Hey, how's Todd doing?" And the truth is, I'm really about the same. I'm still having memory loss really bad. I still stumble a lot. I still stutter a lot. This morning, I was having trouble walking. I took an Epsom salt bath, and that seemed to help a lot. But yeah, I'm still in the recovery process. It's taken a little longer than what I thought it would or what the neurologist thought it would. But I am working. I mentioned in the last video I was having some troubles at work. Um, we had a big powwow up there, and I had a favorable outcome in that powwow. I felt like I won it. There hasn't been any problems up there since. Now, let's talk about the main thing I wanted to cover in this video today. And who knows, I thought about making a recorded video about it, but I've got so much to talk about in the recorded videos. I figured we might as well hit it here. Um, Talking about finding a balance in your life. Those that know me well know I was working myself to death. It's no wonder I had a stroke. I was constantly either driving the truck or making videos. I rarely took time for myself to enjoy life, smell the roses, whatever you want to call it. And something happened at work this week on Friday that it kind of blew me away. I'd never thought of it. But typically, um, at my current job, I get 3 breaks. I get two 15-minute breaks and an hour lunch. And usually during those times, I'm either editing videos, returning emails, returning phone calls, um, even talking to companies about product endorsements, things like that. Really, really busy. And you got to realize how that looks to other people. And so on Friday, 3 people that I'm in class with 40 hours a week came up to me, and one of my best friends in the class, he had told me this too. He's like, "Todd, why don't you ever come outside and talk with us?" And I was like, "Ron, I would love to. I've got so much to do." And he's like, "Man, I know, but if you could just come out maybe for one of the breaks and talk to us." And I said, "Ron, I'm going to try." Well, trying didn't work out very well. I was back to doing my old routine. It's all I've known. I've told people before, I don't really have much of a life. I'm usually either doing YouTube related stuff or working. And so Friday, I'm sitting there and I'm on a phone call, and these 3 people from my class walk up to me and they said, "Todd, on Monday, would you have lunch with us?" And without thinking, instinctively, I said, "Yeah, I'll schedule it." And I thought about how that sounded later. What in the world? I just had a light bulb go out. I thought about how that sounded later, and they kind of laughed and they're like, "Okay, great." And keep in mind in class, and I'm not bragging here, but we're in the portion where we're talking about sales and things that I've done before, promoting products, things like that. So I've got a slight advantage over some of the class that's never done anything like this. So when it comes my turn to speak to the class, I'm always on point. Even if I'm not confident about what I'm talking about, I can put a good spin on it and make it look good. And so I thought about that, and I thought, man, I do need to find a better balance. Here, people are almost begging me to have lunch with them. And so, and then I'm telling them I'll try to schedule them in. And so I'm going to have lunch with them Monday. If I don't call you back during my lunch hour at 1 p.m. Central Time, I'll call you back on one of the other breaks. And I imagine how that must look to that class. So here's a guy, pretty confident guy that comes in. He's confident. He knows what to say, knows what to do. But at lunchtime, he's too busy to sit with us. And so I've got 1 or 2 people that are in the class that resent me for that. I come across as a know it all. I come across as a lot of things, I'm sure. And that'll be my task for Monday is to try to convince them that I'm just like them. I manage my time really well. I feel every second doing something, but I need to put a few seconds in there for fun and recreation and having a good time and things like that. And even last night, I recognized it yesterday when I was at work, and I came home and I was like telling my wife, I want to go do something. And she was tired. She'd got off work. She didn't want to do nothing. And I was like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to work and come home every day and sit here and do nothing. We're going to have to start having activities. We're going to have to start doing things. And so I'm trying to make some changes. I'm trying to get some more balance and in my life to where this last Sunday I went to a church. I found a real small church that I like. I've been checking it out, and I'm trying to do a few other things. And I still think I can keep YouTube going. I still think I can satisfy the job, but I got to have a little me time in there too somewhere. And I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. But the reason I said all of that, I'm not on here pouting or boohooing about me, is you guys need to do that too. I was talking to a guy on the phone this week, and he's like, Todd, I got all these bills, and I'm working myself as hard as I can, as fast as I can, trying to survive in this market. And I was like, I get it, but you need to go home. You need to see your family. You need to spend time with your kids. I mean, you've got to get out of the truck. I don't care how bad it is. You need some you time, or you're going to be having a stroke like I did. And so be observant of that. Look at the needs of your family. If you start seeing that they're needing more time with you, try to provide that time. Um, you know, I disappointed a family member in the past couple of weeks because they called me spur of the moment needing something, and I couldn't go. My wife was sick, and the demands of what they were needing were not possible. I was struggling at work at the time. It's when all that drama was going on. And so things got pretty heated on the phone. They said some things that offended me, and I haven't called them back yet. And, it may be a few days or a few weeks before I can. But yeah, I mean, I'm here to help any of you when I can, as much as I can. But you got to keep in mind, I'm just one person, and I've got a lot of obligations, and I do as much as I can when I can. And I think it's important to keep in mind, I'm still recovering myself. I had a stroke, and that was one of the comments I made to this person when they were asking for my help, and I could not help them. Is I said, I'm not the only family, and but I'm the only one you're mad at. Call some of the other family and see if they can help. And he said, well, they can't. They're busy. And I'm like, why is it okay for them to be busy or have prior commitments, but it's not okay for me to be busy or have prior commitments? And I really do my best to be everything for everybody, but sometimes, and especially right now while I'm recovering, I'm still not back to 100% me yet. All righty, let's jump into a few comments. If you got any questions or comments from that, go ahead and throw them up, and I'll jump to them as quick as I can. Channel member Robbie Ross. Hiya, friends, somewhere in Tennessee on my way to Lancaster, Texas. I'm a listening. Well, I'm glad to have you, sir. Uh, May the 8th was my wife's birthday, and we went to Outback Steakhouse in Lubbock. Man, it was good. Man, I just can't emphasize how good it was. The waitress was good, the food was good. So try to take time out of life to do things like that. Look, when you're dead, you're not going to be saying, "I wish I could have pulled one more load," or "I wonder if the company's going to cover that load." Um, and your family's not going to be saying, "Man, I wish he could have hauled more freight." They're going to be saying, "I wish he could have been here at that birthday," or "I wish he could have been here for my graduation," or she, whatever the case may be. So just be mindful of those things. Racing Ray 28. Hey, Gorilla Gang. Hey, Todd. Thanks, Robbie Ross, for the gift of the membership. And then he said the same thing, but for the gift membership. I think he tried to pull one of the comments, but we knew what you meant. Glad to see you. And Red Raider Reloading says, "Hey, Trucker Todd and Gorilla Gang." Hey, Red Raider, I'm glad y'all can make it. I'm going to try with this schedule. I've still got it for another 4 or 5 weeks. I'm going to try to do a Saturday and maybe sometimes a Sunday video and just kind of touch base with y'all, let you know what's going on, and then do like I did during the week. I'll sprinkle some reviews in there. I'll sprinkle some news stories in there, and try to keep things going. Somebody asked me the other day, "Hey Todd, are you gonna cancel the YouTube channel now that you got a job, now that you're home every day?" And no, my intention is not to cancel the channel. The channel may change in some ways, but it's still going to be a trucking based channel. As recently as today, somebody asked me about stepping into politics and talking about politics. I might do that at some point, maybe for the Guerrilla Gang or something like that. The problem is, I don't get to follow it now that I'm not driving a truck as closely as I'd like to, and I don't want to get on here and say something ignorant. And ignorant in this case means not knowing or incorrect. And I got to be careful too because YouTube is very left wing leaning, and I don't want to say something that'll get my channel taken down, like I almost did when that big virus with the C came out. So I'm trying to be careful. Robbie Ross, channel member, says, "You're welcome, Ray." Kevin Snipes, "Good afternoon, Todd. Good evening, sir. Thank you for being here." Gary Cook says, "Howdy, howdy, everyone." And my good friend Adam is here. He says, "Glad I can finally catch a show." Me too. Gary Cook, "Since your accident, do you feel that you rushed into another truck?" No, because the the accident happened April 28th. I had my stroke March 14th, so it was almost a year later. It was 11 months later. So I don't think that my accident had any bearing on my stroke or anything like that. And keep in mind, I was off from May 20 or from let's see when I had the accident, April 28th. I was off about a month and a half before I started at SRO Logistics. And I've said it in other videos. I don't work there anymore, and I'm still saying it. So it's not people say, "Oh, Todd just says that because he wants a recruiting bonus." Uh, if you go to SRO Logistics, I'm not going to get one penny from Scott. But I still think he's a great guy. I still think it's a great company. And as far as trucking jobs go, it was one of the least stressful places I've ever worked. He wasn't micromanaging me. He offered support and advice when I needed it, and so I don't have anything bad to say about him. I don't feel like he contributed to my stress level at all. I figure like I contribute to my stress level, and what I mean by that is I always I always feel like I'm not doing good enough. I should do more. So just like this deal that happened on Friday, where 3 people came up and said, "Todd, can we please have lunch with you on Monday?" Um, I started analyzing that, and most people don't do that. Most people say, "Yeah, I'll have lunch with you," and they have lunch. And I thought, man, am I doing that? Do I appear that way? Do I section myself off and get so focused on work that I don't socialize maybe as much as I should or the way I should? I think about things I've said. Did I hurt somebody's feelings? Did I discourage somebody? If and this hasn't happened, but I'll use Gary Cook as an example. If Gary Cook calls me and says, "Todd, I'm thinking about buying a new truck right now. Do you think I should?" Am I positive and uplifting, or am I saying something that's going to discourage Gary from doing something he wants to do in his life? Now, I may say, "Gary, I probably wouldn't buy a truck right now, or I wouldn't buy that type of truck, but wait 6 months and do it then." Or I might say, "Gary, how much money have you got saved up?" And he might tell me, and I might say, "Yeah, I'd go for it if I was you." Or I'd say, "Yeah, I'd like it better if you had this amount saved up," or something like that. But I don't want to be the reason that Gary Cook doesn't follow his dreams or do what he wants to do in his life. And so I'm very mindful of that. I'm constantly, maybe it goes back to my sales days. I'm constantly looking for ways to improve. That's why this class I'm doing right now is so tough because um, I have this competitive nature in me where I want to be the best. And, people are already projecting, oh, Todd's going to be in the top 3%, which there's a lot of vacations and perks and stuff you get if you're in the top 3%. And they're like, without a doubt, Todd's going to be there. Have you heard him talk? And, instead of me going, yeah, I'm good. I'm trying to encourage people. I'm trying to say, man, you're better than I am. If I've got a shot, you've got an even better shot. And oftentimes when I say that, I really believe that. I could name three or four people in our class right now that I feel like they've got a better grasp of things than I do. I may sound smoother saying it, but their computer work and everything is far superior to mine. And we've got a super chat, $20 from channel member Robbie Ross. Appreciated our chat this afternoon. I'm glad to call you a friend. Yes, sir. I always look forward to talking to you. Um, you guys also, I wanted to tell you all this too. I do get those 3 breaks I told you about. Sometimes they vary in time a little bit. But if you call me and I don't answer, leave me a voicemail because depending on what part of the building I'm in, I may not know you called if you don't leave a voicemail. Just leave a quick voicemail. Say, hey, Todd, it's Robbie Ross. Call me back. And when I get a break, I'll call you back and I can talk 5 or 10 minutes before I go back into class. And I had a lot of people this week that were like, man, I want to talk to you, Todd, but I just don't know when to call. Obviously, I've mentioned on Monday I'm going to meet with those 3. I guess I'd call them coworkers at this point, and get to know them, let them get to know me, and try to create that work life balance that I always talk about in my videos. Red Ready Reloading sounds like your coworkers are wanting to pick your brain on some things, especially. Yeah, maybe. And I like doing these things. I've mentioned this on another video. Some of you may have remembered it, but I had a guy on YouTube that really hated my guts, and he made several negative videos about me and comments about me. And he came passing through Lubbock one day, and we had lunch together. And we're not best friends. We haven't talked but a couple of times since then in chats and stuff. But it stopped the negative videos completely. And so, you can get a perception of Trucker Todd watching YouTube, and that perception could be wrong. I am very confident. Sometimes it'll come across as arrogant, but it's just a confidence in me. It doesn't mean that I think I'm better than anybody or that I think my advice is better than anybody. It just means that I'm really confident in what I'm saying. I believe what I'm telling you. It's my opinions are not influenced by who's paying me or who's not paying me. The truth is the truth. And so I think what we're going to see on that Monday conversation is people that might have thought I was arrogant, people that might have thought I was a know-it-all, or are just going to see a guy that is hearkening back to sales experience. I'll give you an example. On Thursday, we were talking about how to close a sale. And I mentioned to the instructor while he was on break, I said, this part's easy. This is ABC, always be closing. And she started laughing. She's like, it sure is. And I was like, well, this will be the easy part for me. Now, the technical stuff, some of the computer stuff, I'm going to be in a bind, but we're in the section now where if I'm ever going to get it, this is where it'll be. And then I talked to Robbie Ross this afternoon, as he mentioned, and he's also got a car sales background. I told him, I said, I hate talking to you because every time I talk to you, I start wanting to sell cars again. He laughed and he said, yeah, he misses it too. And I said, yeah, but I'm old now, and I don't know that I could keep up with those 20-year-olds running across the lot. Red Red Reloading, they could be looking for guidance if they are younger. Yeah, they are all younger. They I laugh when you say that because it reminds me of a sales manager I used to have, he say, learn from the donkey. And what he meant by that is uh, learn from the mistakes of others. And maybe that's what they're wanting to do. Maybe they see the mistakes I've made and they're trying to learn from that. Or maybe they think I've got some sales advice or something like that. Um, I think another thing, people, because I'm confident, they think that in person, I'm probably an extrovert. I'm probably really outgoing. And in person, I'm really shy until I get to know somebody. So um, a lot of times, the first 5 or 10 minutes you meet me, I don't come out of my shell right away. It takes a little time, but then when I'm out, I'm out. Like now, that first week of class, I was in my shell. I was quiet. The second week, I had everybody in there laughing. And channel member Robbie Ross, remember y'all, tomorrow is Mom's Day. Yes, sir. And it stinks because my wife has to work, but uh, at least I'll be here. She is working a lot lately. She's got Tuesday off, and then I think she works the rest of the days of the week up till like Friday or something, Friday or Saturday. So she's working about 6 days in a row right now. Well, not in a row, but you know what I mean. All right, we're caught up. So let me remind everybody, if you hadn't done it yet, go give this video a thumbs up, share it on your social media platforms, and make sure you're subscribed. When this video ends, I've got to edit the recorded videos and record a little more for this week. And then I'm supposed to meet my wife for dinner in about an hour and a half. And so that's kind of what's on my agenda today. That church I went to was pretty cool, though. I'm looking forward to going back there tomorrow. Really small congregation. There's like 20, 25 people in there. And the sermon was on point. Man, it was good. But anyway, I'm not going to preach to you. If any of you are curious about that, I'll talk to you about it privately. Wow, the comments have stopped. Has anybody got anything else we want to talk about? Since we made it to where you got to be a subscriber to talk, we got rid of a lot of the trolls and the negative comments and things like that. But if we don't have anything, this may be one of our shortest conversations. I may kick out of here at about the 30-minute mark. One thing I forgot to do was text the people that don't received. Oh, did I? All right, let's scroll up in my phone and see what I missed. All right. Red Raider Reloading asked, "Did you see the video Prime put out?" No, I did not. What did it say? That's the only comment I'm seeing that I missed was Red Raider Reloading's comment. And I don't know why. Sometimes I miss his. Heard it's hauling. You may have to give me a little more information. I'm not following you. While y'all are typing, I'm gonna go turn the fan on. It done got warm in here. While he's typing that too, that long walk every day, I've lost about 5 pounds. I'm down to 245 right now. And I guess I'm eating healthier because I don't snack as much. But we may have lost Red Raider Reloading. Maybe he's texted me the video or something. Let me look real quick. I got to get through all the junk mails first. Nope, he didn't send nothing there. Did you see Swifty Dave's video on the Swift load board? No, I did not see that either. What was he saying? I did talk to him on the phone recently, and he said there was a lot more loads on there, and he was liking it. Was that basically what his video said? Put that comment up real quick. Yeah, we had a pretty good conversation the other day. He was asking me about StreamYard, and I was telling him about it. And he said that he was real happy with the load board, that in the beginning there wasn't a lot on there, but that they were starting to amp it up a little bit and put a little bit more on there. Also, you guys tell me, how do these earbuds sound? Do they sound okay? Can you hear me okay? Comments are coming really slow today. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes. I'm gonna try to find some of these videos that y'all are talking about. Oh, it won't let me. I don't think. Let's see. The problem is if I type in Prime Ink, so many videos come up. I don't know if I'll be able to find the one you're talking about. Let me go to most recent. I hate doing live videos on the weekend because most people are busy. Yeah, I don't see that video. If you'll send me a link to it, I can watch it and do a reaction video to it or something like that. Same thing with Dave's video on Swift load board. Let me see if I can find his real quick. 404 Dave. Yeah, there's just so much stuff out there. It's really hard for me to find specific videos unless y'all send me a link or something like that. But it looks like this is going to be one of our shortest ones. I know we'll get a bunch of people in the replay, and that's fine. If you guys do watch the replay, those of you that are out there, we get more that watch the replay than what watch the live, just because of the notifications. Leave me a comment. I still respond to all the comments. I can still answer your questions and all that stuff. And so, okay, we got a question. Let's see. Todd, do you feel that you rushed into buying a truck, and what would you do differently next time? Um, no, I don't. So we have to go back. I guess we can do this real quick. Let's go back and look at chronological order here. And I'll remove that so y'all can see the website. So I was working at Swift as an independent contractor, lease purchasing a truck. I was making a killing. I had to, uh, I had saved up some money as a result of that work and running a business well. And one of my viewers had a truck in Illinois that he was selling. He ended up selling it to me for about a fifth of what the insurance company said it was worth. So I bought a truck at a good price that I could have drove it from Illinois to Texas and sold it for a profit. I saw this as my opportunity to be a true independent contractor, a true owner operator running the load board. So I leased it on to F2F, and for 2 or 3 weeks had a blast. Um, then I had that accident in Texarkana that I still can't really talk about, but we can do it for illustrative purposes here. And that truck was totaled. I did because I bought that first truck at um, at such a good price. I ended up having some money left over after all the dust settled, and I was able to buy one from Cordell. Um, Now we could debate if Cordell's a good company, not a good company, if Kenworth's a good truck, not a good truck. But the fact is that anytime you buy a used vehicle, no matter um, where you buy it from, there's some risk, whether you get it from an individual, whether you get it from a dealership. It's a little bit of a crapshoot. They can check the truck out, you can check the truck out, but nobody really knows um, what's going to go wrong in the future. It's a little bit of a guessing game. The first several months I had the truck did really well. I didn't have any issues. Then we had the problems, and I don't even remember now what it was. The basically the computer and something else. And we found a shop that really in the past had taken very good care of me, that they were very dishonest and they screwed me over. And so we did lose that truck, not because of the $5,000 repair bill, like a lot of people on here have reported, but because of the 8 weeks it was in the shop. I called them on a Thursday, I think it was, and they said, if you'll bring it Friday, we'll get it in line. We'll start on it Monday. I took it on Thursday or Friday, whenever they told me to, and it was exactly a week before they even looked at it. So that was part of the problem right there. Then it was an additional 7 weeks before they said, all right, we've got it fixed and ready to pick up. Now, there's a lot of people, and I'm not saying you, Gary, but there's a lot of guys in here with big egos that's never been an owner operator that like to talk crap that are going to say, well, you should have been ready for that. And I would dare say in this economy with the rates like they are, that very few of us could afford to go down for 8 weeks. And so, no, I didn't. I mean, there's no way I could have predicted that. No way I could have projected that. I had some other things happen that had depleted my savings, tires, things like that, oil changes, other things. But I still was in good shape when the first two estimates came for the truck from the Kenworth dealer. I said, I got the money, do it. The first estimate they sent me, I said, I've got 3 times that amount. I didn't say it to them, but I told my wife, I said, I've got 3 times that amount. I'm fine. Even if they double it on me, I've still got enough to cover the repairs. And I just need to get back out and work. Well, they ended up starting off at like $800 and ended up at 5,000. I was not prepared for the bill to be almost 7 times what they originally quoted me. And most of you wouldn't be ready for that either. So the Kenworth, I don't know that it's Cordell's fault. I think Cordell has made some policy changes since I bought the truck. I think they're more willing to help drivers now than what they were back then. But anytime you do a lease purchase or a buy here, pay here type deal, you kind of need some support from the financial institution or a financial institution of some type. You need a credit line or a big credit card. Having said that, I know a guy that went about $15,000 in debt on his credit cards, possibly more than that. I know another guy recently that went under. He told me he was $40,000 in debt right now. So it does happen, not just to me, but to everybody. And people that have never owned a business don't understand that. And even some that do, they just like to poke the finger at you and go, I'm better than you, and here's why. So the Kenworth is gone. We realize we're not going to be able to get it back. And uh, then Scott comes up with a truck and says, I'll lease purchase you this truck. Well, I didn't really have a lot of choice, and I don't mean that negatively towards Scott, but that accident was not a year old yet. Now, in April, it became a year old. Unfortunately, the stroke messes that up, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, I know I've got to work for at least a year before I can do anything, and I'm already at a great company. So, if you go back and watch those videos, you'll hear me say over and over and over again, my number one goal is to stay working with Scott. If there's any way I can do that, that's what I want to do. I love working at SRO Logistics. So Scott goes and picks up the truck, brings it to Gulfport, Mississippi. It was in Florida. And then I fly out to Gulfport and pick it up. Again, I'm not completely broke. I paid for my own airplane ticket. I paid for my own fuel in the truck coming back. Um, so it's not like I was totally unprepared or any of the things like you've heard in other people's videos. But a lot of people don't want to hear the truth. I got that truck and it ran great until it didn't. I got to a Coca-Cola place and was backing up in the snow. A guy in front of me had got stuck in the parking lot, and I picked up a rock out of the snow and it hit the side of my oil pan. And so I went to a shop. It was going to be very expensive to fix. And so I limped it back to Lubbock and was in the process of fixing it myself when I had my stroke. And so Scott hung in there with me. He could have come and got the truck right then as soon as I had the stroke because I was medically ineligible to drive. He hung in there with me, gave me several weeks. We scheduled a time that was convenient for both of us, and he came and got the truck. I actually picked him up at the airport, took him to Walmart to get some stuff, and then I took him to the truck. We parted on good terms. We've talked several times since then on the phone. Several people have said, "Oh, you and Scott are at odds. Y'all are fighting. You don't like him. He don't like you." Nothing could be further from the truth. We get along great. There's no hard feelings. But because of the stroke I had on that day, and I can talk about the stroke if I need to. It was actually multiple strokes. I believe there was 15 of them. I'm not able to drive per DOT regulations for a year. So that's what got me out of trucking. It wasn't I couldn't do the job. It wasn't I didn't know how to run the load board. It wasn't nothing else. It was just um, everything kind of snowballed and happened at once. One guy brought all this up in the other day. He summarized it. He's like, "Well, you had this many trucks and that and this and that, and you worked at this company and then you went to that company." Yes, I worked at Swift, went to F2F, had the accident, went to F2F, then went to SRO. It wasn't like I was hopping jobs every week. It was just really bad circumstances all hitting at once. But what I'm learning on YouTube is the facts don't matter when you've got a narrative to fill, and that's what people are doing right now. But I don't know what I could have done next time. It's just life. I mean, businesses come and businesses go every day, and I'm not out. I'll tell you right now, if today were March 14th of 2025, I've got several options for trucking where I could go. And SRO is at the top of that list. I'd be very tempted to go back to SRO. And so um, it's not, this is not something that's a game changer. I mean, it's an obstacle. Now, am I going back to trucking? That's an entirely different question. Let's see if my strength and balance gets better. Let's see how well I do at this job and how successful I am there. Let's reevaluate in say 10 or 11 months when it gets closer to that time. But yeah, I don't know that there's a lot I could have done differently. Gary Cook says I'm 23,000 in debt, but I'm doing what I can. Yeah, that's the key is having a plan and knowing how long is it going to take you to get out of that 23,000 in debt and get positive again. And at what point does it not become worth it anymore? And only you can answer that question, and everybody's situation's different. as far as what your home life's like, what your family needs are. But if you are 23,000 in debt, odds are you're paying interest on that money, and so it can be daunting. It can be stressful. And my key is, and even now, when trolls try to debate me and things like that, I'll go for a little while, but I can't let my blood pressure start to rise. I can't get upset because I'm still recovering. I think because people don't see it on camera, they think, oh, Todd's 100%, and I'm really not. I really have to guard myself. Now, every every doctor I've talked to, every specialist I talk to feels like I'm going to make 100% return, but it's going to take some time, and I gotta make sure I don't have another one because say in 2 months if I have another stroke, that just pushes things out longer before I could drive a truck again. They say 1 to 5 years, and really the truth of it is it could be one to forever. And so I don't know if I ever will or will not drive a truck again. I definitely miss it, but I'm also enjoying what I'm doing now too. Here's a really good guy that just joined us. Deontay Butler is here. Hope all is going well for you. Thank you, sir. Glad to have you. All righty. Have you guys got anything else y'all want to talk about today? We got going there for a few minutes, but everybody's pretty quiet. Like I said, I hate doing videos on the weekend. A lot of you are home with family, especially mid-afternoon. You're out doing stuff, and so I'm sure we'll get most of you in the replay. But I appreciate everybody being here today. If if you guys want to send me those links for those videos, I'll take a look at them and I'll try to get out a response video, or if I do another live tomorrow, I'll try to comment on them at that time. But with that being said, I'm going to hop off here. You guys have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one. Y'all take care. Bye bye.